Hi everyone, my name is Shauna in case you don't know, and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be doing the Manga Book Tag. This book tag was created by Coffee Over Apples and I will link their YouTube channel down in the description below. So this tag is 9 questions long. You don't have to know anything about manga to do this tag. You can answer with the prompts with either a book or a manga. I'm gonna try and do a little bit of a combination of both, but just fair warning that I'm probably gonna be mostly doing books as my answers. The reason for that is because manga are such long series that I haven't read that many because I've read like long series, if that makes any sense. So like I've been reading Attack on Titan for like the past really long time. I don't know how long I've been reading it for. And I've read like Sailor Moon, Tsubasa, Yotsuba. Like I haven't read that many because these series are so long. But anyways, enough of that. Let's just crack on into this tag. The first question says, call me Senpai, a book that made you cringe. I cringe reading books a lot, and I don't always end up hating the books that I cringe while reading, but I'm trying to think of like a recent one that made me cringe, because when I think of books that made me cringe, I think of like ones that I read way in the past. So let me try and think of one that I read this year. Okay, I got one. So Haru to Aiden is one that made me cringe. I read this one for Pride Month, but like I really wish that I wouldn't have because it was such a terrible book. But I was cringing so bad reading that book. So basically that book is a smutty stepbrothers romance, and I was cringing so bad at like so many of the scenes. First of all, the fact that it's literally an incestuous relationship made me cringe, and the thing is, I feel like I probably wouldn't have cringed as bad if they didn't like constantly push it in your face that it's a stepbrother romance. The adult scenes were very cringeworthy. I could barely get through them. Haru to Aiden felt like the author had a kink and wanted to write that kink into a story, and I would not recommend it, but it is one that made me cringe. Next up, number 2, Super Saiyan 4, your favorite character development. I really loved the development of Rebecca from the Article 5 trilogy. The Article 5 trilogy, in case you don't know, is one of my favorite trilogies of all this time, and there's this character named Rebecca. She starts out as a really small character, and I didn't like her at first, but she had incredible character development. By the end of the series, I was completely in love with her character, and I really admired her by the end. Question number 3, Otaku, a bookish fandom that you are proud to be a part of. I'm gonna go with a manga answer for this one, and for this one I'm going with Sailor Moon. I read all of Sailor Moon back when I was younger. It was like the first manga that I read from like start to finish. I was so in love with it, and I'm still in love with it. I really want to go through and watch the anime for it at some point because I haven't done that yet, but I'm super proud to be a part of the Sailor Moon fandom. So Sailor Moon has an incredible storyline, and the fandom is part of what makes me stay in love with this series, because all of the fans of Sailor Moon are so creative. They make creative cosplays, they're so supportive of each other, they make fantastic fan art. I just love everything about the Sailor Moon fandom. Question number 4, cosplay. I cosplay a lot, you know? I'm a cosplayer. Cosplay is sort of my passion. But anyways, the prompt for cosplay says a book cover that was well executed. I really loved the cover for Tyler Oakley's Binge. I felt like that one was really well executed. I really loved the whole like setup and behind the scenes for it, and like it just turned out amazing, and it really fit his personality of the time that he was writing that book. I think now if he were to write another book, he would definitely do a different vibe for the cover because he has changed as a person, but I felt like that cover really fit him well as a person and the stage that he was at in his life. Question number 5, Chibi Chibi, your favorite short stories or novella. I don't know, I didn't really read short stories and novellas that often. Normally when I read novellas, it's because they're a like part of a large series. So for example, the Beautiful Creatures series by Cameron Garcia and Margaret Stoll has some novellas as a part of it. I think for this I'm gonna go with Jocelyn's story, which is listed as Mortal Instruments number 3.5 on Goodreads. This is by Cassandra Clare. I didn't know this one existed for a while, but this was such a fun read. It was originally available on Cassandra Clare's website, however it's not available on there anymore. So if you want to read it, you have to head on over to Wikipedia, and Wikipedia has a bunch of like a collection of all of the deleted scenes and stuff. So in City of Glass, Jocelyn, Clary's mother, had to explain her story and her involvement in the Shadowhunter world, and how she got involved with Clary's dad, and about her involvement with Luke and stuff like that. So it's a really like important part of City of Glass. Jocelyn's story is the expanded version of that, but it's not considered canon. It's like considered alternate universe, because the actual story that Jocelyn says to Clary in City of Glass had to be shortened to fit that book better and to be less of like an info dump. So this is giving Jocelyn a backstory, but like technically some stuff can be contradicted later in the series because it's considered non-canon. However, I still really enjoyed it. I found it to be a really fun read. It completely made me do a 360 on my thoughts on Jocelyn, and wait, 360 or 180? I forget the phrase for that, but like it changed my thoughts on Jocelyn. I really enjoyed it, and it helped me leave the Mortal Instruments series on a positive note because I did not like City of Heavenly Fire, and I read Jocelyn's story after the final book, City of Heavenly Fire, and I really liked Jocelyn's story, so it helped me just leave that series with a positive note. Question number 6, Zettai? I don't know what that word is, sorry. And this is an author who you want more books from, Nicola Yoon. Nicola freaking Yoon. I love Nicola Yoon's books. She has 3 books out so far, and she is a part of a collection of short stories. So she doesn't have that much stuff out, but I really enjoy everything that she writes, and I am dying for more books from Nicola Yoon. Question number 7, fan service, tropes you always enjoy. I wouldn't say there's any tropes that I always enjoy, okay? There's definitely tropes that I really hate, but there's no tropes that like I always enjoy. I do have some that I usually enjoy though. I usually enjoy enemies to lovers if it's in the context of fantasy. I feel like enemies to lovers in the context of contemporary often is not done well, and I really enjoy the chosen one trope, and I really enjoy friends to lovers. However, with those 3 tropes, I don't always enjoy them. It's a case-by-case basis, but I feel like those are the ones that I enjoy most of the time. Question number 8, fillers, and more fillers, series that are way too long. So I'm going to do one for a series that I've read and one for a series that I haven't read yet because it's too long. So the one for the series that I have read is the Castor Chronicles universe. The Castor Chronicles universe contains the Beautiful Creatures books, and it contains the Dangerous Creatures books, as well as a bunch of short stories and novellas, and a graphic novel adaptation of the first book, Beautiful Creatures. So this series was way too long. First of all, each book in and of itself was a massive chunker, and I felt like each book should have been cut down shorter. The only thick book in the series that deserved to be as long as it was is Beautiful Redemption, the final book in the series, because that one didn't feel like it had any filler scenes. It felt perfect and it felt like action-packed from the start, but the previous 3 books, I was like, this is just a lot of filler. And then a lot of the novellas felt like fillers and they felt pointless, and don't even get me started on Dangerous Deception. I could make a whole rant on that because I really love Dangerous Creatures, which is the spin-off series, but when it came to Dangerous Deception, I'm so upset still, and like I wish I could have loved it, but it was so unnecessary. And I love Kimmy Garcia, I love Margaret Stoll, they are incredible writers, but there was way too much filler in this whole Castor Chronicles universe. And for a series that I want to get into but it's really long and so I haven't got into it yet is Naruto. I'm talking both the anime and the manga. So I pulled up Goodreads right here so that I can give you the accurate numbers for Naruto, and from people who have read Naruto, I have heard that there is plenty of fillers in this series, unfortunately. It sucks when there's fillers in a manga series because a lot of these series are just so long, and I'm like, you could just cut it back so much and we'd enjoy it so much more. So Naruto, according to Goodreads, has 72 primary works, so 72 main volumes and main books of the series. That Naruto has a side story, 4 tie-in novel series, 2 spin-off series, 6 books that are based on the anime, and 3 illustration books that are based on the series. That is way too much. Way too much. I don't understand why any series of manga would need to be 72 volumes long. And I don't understand why a 72 volume manga series would need so many spin-offs and additional books. You know, I don't really understand that. And from people I trust their opinion, I've heard that it's a lot of filler. But I am interested in the story, and like the anime too has like tons and tons of episodes, and I know it has a ton of spin-offs too, so you know, I'll probably get into it at some point, but it's not like high on my list of ones that I want to get into soon because it's so long. Question number 9, Yaoi and Yuri, your favorite queer character or bookish relationship? I cannot narrow this down to one favorite queer character and one favorite bookish relationship. It's way too hard. So I'm going to list a favorite character, not my only favorite character, and I'm going to list a favorite bookish relationship. Not necessarily my favorite queer bookish relationship, but like one of my favorites. I can't narrow it down to just one. Oh my gosh. Okay. So for bookish relationship, Dev and Charlie from the Charm Offensive, I love them and I love the progression of the relationship, and I love how they both have their own issues that they have to work through with each other before they can like be together in the end. I thought that was done really well, and I really enjoy them each as a character on their own, and together they just get even more awesome. favorite queer character, again, not necessarily my only favorite, but one of my favorites is Ellie from The Sound of Stars. Her full name is Janelle, but she goes by Ellie for the majority of the book. She is a wonderful, awesome character. She's demisexual and she likes all genders. I love her as a character. I love how strong she is in the face of everything, and I love how even though like the world is hard and there's so much like crap being thrown at her, she still finds a way to be her authentic self even through everything that's going on. Anyways, that was all for this tag. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to me if you haven't already. If you would like to do the manga book tag, all the questions will be linked down in the description below. As I said earlier, you don't have to be into manga to do this book tag. This tag is for everyone. I upload videos twice a week, so my next video will be uploaded this Friday. I hope all of you stick around to watch that one. And until next time, goodbye!